Welcome to another episode of AI with Alaa. And today I have a very special guest, the one and only Mr. Mohammad Arshad. Arshad is very well known in the community in the UAE, especially in the developers community. He is, without a doubt, the best AI teacher in the country, maybe in the region. I worked with him closely. I've seen him teach firsthand, whether online or offline, and no one come close to describing complex AI topics for developers, builders, programmers, and engineers as Mohammad Arshad does. Mohammad Arshad, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. Thank you, Ala. Thank you for having me here. And it has been a pleasure working with you. And hope this conversation helps people to understand what we are trying to talk about AI and what is the message to the world.
Absolutely. And this is where I would like to start. You have been educating relentlessly the market about AI for the past how many years? And you try to educate corporate employees, university students, school students, even leaders on how to build with AI. What are people missing when they think about AI? What are people confusing AI? And what is the thing that you still see unclear that you really want people to know?
So AI, people are talking about AI just after ChatGPT. Before that, it was data science, it was machine learning and all those things. So lucky enough, I was doing this for the last 21 years. And that was since this thing became a buzz, I was involved in machine learning and how all this chat GPT of the world is working, how the data is getting together and these models are getting built. So I understood this, right? And just to my experience of educating and started when I was in Accenture Consulting. So Accenture Consulting is a firm that hires a lot of developers, but AI and data science is not just about the coding piece. People need to also understand how things work.
Yes.
And they need to develop solutions. So people come with one good skill, but they need to understand the other skill as well, how to solve problems, how they can use these technologies or models. So there was a huge gap. Even people who are getting hired, and we used to do programs for them internally in Accenture. And that's how I thought there's a big gap. If you see a lot of people who only learn one thing very well, if they are coding, they do coding very well, but they don't know what to code, what to build. So this is where we started doing this, and I started doing this on the weekends as well as a side project. Well, I started this around 8 years back. I used to do weekend classes. But once I came to UAE 5 years back, I thought there is a big gap here. A lot of people think Excel is AI. So that's what I started doing these workshops where I went deeper, and then I got an opportunity to do this full time. So this is a journey where, and I can talk more about it in details, but I have seen a lot of gap when I talk to not only university students, but also leaders as well about their understanding of the whole spectrum of AI.
Amazing. And tell us more about this journey. And in particular, what I'm interested in is for someone young and up and coming who's interested in AI, and he or she wants to be where Muhammad Arshad is today.
Yes.
What would be the optimal path of study, of experience, of learning, and of doing for them to reach your level of experience and competence?
So things have changed as of now. As I speak, we have a lot of AI assistant tools that have come up to help people build things. But still, I tell people first principles. If you don't understand first principles, you will not be able to build things. Even if AI gives you a prototype, you don't understand what is happening behind. If anything breaks, you are lost. And this is what I am seeing right now. So things have changed since AI ChatGPT has come. The most affected field that I have seen is the education field. And people and AI is very good. I always say AI is like a knife. You can use it for the positive as well as for the negative. People are getting lazy. People are not learning properly. They are vibe coding, they are getting things, and they don't understand what is happening inside. So I still go back, and if you know, I do programs where I tell people learn coding, understand what is happening. Once you become comfortable in the first principles, then you can use AI to help you. because it's the same thing like you when you're translating English to Arabic and you are just believing AI is doing something well, even if you don't know Arabic, that's a big no-no.
Big no.
Because end of the day, you also know that AI hallucinates.
Yes.
So we cannot believe it. And
We
and
cannot
I
trust it blindly. I mean,
yes,
yeah.
we cannot believe it blindly. You
Mm.
have to review. Like I just give an example of Arabic, because if you don't know Arabic, you don't know Arabic. You cannot assume that I can just understand few words and I can understand the sentence.
Yeah.
Similarly, coding.
This is
Yeah.
super important what you're mentioning, because I see a lot of people
Yeah.
started to talk about vibe coding
Yes.
2 years ago when Andre Karpathy coined this term.
Yes.
And I remember I was talking to you one day and I asked you about this. And you told me something that I will never forget.
Hmm.
You said, if you teach vibe coding
Yes.
to a senior developer, you will get him or her working at 10x speed.
Correct.
If you teach vibe coding to junior developers, you will get spaghetti and garbage code.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Tell us more about this.
Yes, this is important. So this is something that we all understand, that AI will make someone good better.
Yes.
But if someone is at level 0 who doesn't understand, it will be a dangerous thing for him, right? Because you might have heard this saying that garbage in, garbage out for a
Yes.
long time. But now in the world of AI, generative AI, it is garbage in, poison out, because you don't know what is
Wow.
happening. And
Yeah.
this is very important. And this is what I have been seeing. People are building so many apps, so many products, but it does not have a proper architecture that they are able to make it better. And this is this thing we are seeing happening, and that is the reason why you need to be focused. And we all talk about prompt engineering, right?
Yes.
So that is anything is to do with coding, to do with context. If you are not putting the correct thing inside, then you don't get the thing outside properly, and you cannot debug it. So it is more important now to know what you're putting inside. And that is what we call as, now we have prompt engineering that we have been talking. For developers, there is something called as context engineering. And now we have something that OpenAI just released last month called harness engineering.
Yes.
This is the way things are going. So you should know these things. If you don't know, it's the same thing we say. If you don't know, you don't know.
So I want to
Yeah.
talk about all of these.
Sure.
I want to talk about harness engineering, agentic engineering, all of these. But let's start from the beginning. I want to
Yes.
take the scenario of someone, a company, trying to build a team of developers.
Yes.
And in 2026, we both know that these developers, we should give them AI tools.
Yes.
Like Cloud Code, like Codex, like Cursor, like Rapplet, so that they can work at 10x speed.
Yes.
So I want you to give me the answer from both angles. And let's do those one by one. Let's start from the first angle. The developers themselves. How can we tell the young developers that came to the market when these tools exist? How can we convince them to learn the basics from the base principle and to be patient and not produce every single code they're producing with Cursor and Replit and Cloud Code and Codex?
So this is you convincing is very tough, especially for the younger generation.
Yes.
They don't listen. So it is like learning by experience, right?
Yes.
When they build something, you question them, like, how did you do this? Why did you select this thing? Why did you select this large language model? Why did you select this temperature? So you question them, and that is what we try to do. One-way communication is important, but once they build something, you have to have the two-way conversation. Always ask them what are the assumptions you have taken, and dig deep into it. Even if every one of us know that we are going to use AI to build products, but you need to ask them, what is the exceptions that you are using in this architecture? What if someone tries to hack in? What is going to happen? And try to experience with different we call it evaluations, like test it and see what is happening. So these are the questions you need to ask them when they are building it. And this is the convincing part is important, as I tell the first principle thing, right? People who start building, they will see their applications and then they will try to improve. And I have seen a lot of people who are learning technologies, people who are good, the only thing that they have is the attitude to learn and the willingness to experiment. That is the one thing that differentiates a good learner from a lazy learner. And convincing is just, if I can just summarize it, it is just if you start building and start making it better from version 0 to version 1, and every time question what is happening in your application and how to make it better and more secure.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So this is from the point of view of the developers themselves.
Yes.
Let's now try to solve the problem of the employer.
Yes.
Let's say you are in a company and you want to build a team of developers,
Yes.
whether to build AI tools or non-AI tools. Uh, you know that you need to equip them with AI tools. How do you go about this? Do you start by hiring a senior person first and then give them AI tool and then hire juniors under him or her and give them
Yes.
what would be the playbook here?
A senior will be a good person to start with.
Yeah.
He understands end to end.
Yeah.
Because building
How senior? Are we saying like 10 years? Are we saying 20 years?
even if he is 5 years, but he has built end to end applications.
Okay.
Like DevOps engineer, people
Yes.
who have built end to end.
Yes.
Because right now it is not
Build
just
end to end before the AI
application.
aids with their own hands.
Yes.
Yes.
Before, yes.
Yes.
That is important. And even if they have used AI, they understand. They have done some projects end to end.
Yes.
The good thing about us, people who have been doing before, is we have done the hard work, right? We have done physically.
Yeah.
So we are able to understand things.
Yes.
Like we are preparing for Codex that as we discussed for one of our clients, Codex training. So I don't use these platforms a lot because I try to do VS Code and I use AI assisted in the editor. But Codex, I was experimenting last 2 days since we discussed. And for me, it was very easy to pick it up.
Very easy.
And it's just that I knew what I needed to prompt, like where to keep the secret key, where to write the front end, back end, and everything. So I gave the prompt in details what I expect the VS Code environment to have in Codex.
Yes.
And it developed the whole structure for me, and then I could run it with some changes, some minute changes I had to do. So in 1 hour, I was able to use the Codex end to end properly and understand it. And I was surprised. But if a person does not know the structure, what I mentioned, the environment file, how to put the API key, how to write the prompts, then they will not be able to do it. They will be lost. So that is what, for me, it was easy to learn Codex because of this. So a senior person who has done the physical and the non-AI things,
Yes.
it's easier for him to read. But he can also do it. I will not say he's not able to do it, but he needs to give more time to read the documentation and to read the everything and then get Codex to do. And I can talk more about Codex. It is just a simpler way of doing things, simpler way of building applications. And if you want to have a front end, back end, everything together,
Yes.
you can use it.
And whether it's Codex or Cloud Code
Yes.
or what you said is if you know what you're doing,
Yes.
then it will be super easy to move across any of these tools.
Yes.
And I listened to your speeches and to your advices, and you always say it's not about the tools, it's about the principles.
Yes.
It's not about the tools. This is one of your famous quotes.
Yes.
But I want us to go back to try to solve the problem
Sure.
of this person in a company who
Correct.
tries to build a super team of software developers
Yes.
who are working at the speed of 100 software developers
yes.
because of AI.
Yes.
How do you go by building this team? So you said you hire a senior
Seniors.
person first,
Yes.
at least 5 years experience
Yes.
of doing things with his or her hands.
Correct.
Then what do you do?
Then he will initiate some projects. He will try to do some projects by himself and then try to get some junior resources. And what I see for the junior resources, you don't tell them to do XYZ. Give them a project. Tell them that whatever POCs that you have, assign them something. Give them a week or 2 weeks to come up with a prototype. And then you question him the way I was telling you earlier.
Yes.
Why are you doing this? How you are doing this? And give him, you are questioning him. Don't directly tell him this is wrong, this is not wrong. While you are questioning him, give him suggestions to improve. And tell him to come back after 3-4 days and improve this product. So this is what I see, and I have some clients who are doing this, hiring a junior resource and giving them some POCs that may not be so critical that you need to do immediately, but you will see them improving step by step. And this is a way of building a team. wherein you get junior resources, you can try out and you can see their attitude, how they are adapting to these technologies, how they are learning, and how they are giving a documentation. And deadline always works.
Yes.
Tell them to come for a meeting at this day, present your app, what you have built,
Yes.
and then question them in a constructive way so that they also improve.
Brilliant.
And this is the how you build your team, and then you can assign them specific work of your bigger module project that you are planning to do in the coming days. And this is
And as you mentioned, the main character you're looking for in these juniors are the hungers to learn.
Correct.
You want them to be good learners.
Yes.
They're hungry to develop themselves. And you want those who have problem solving skills.
Yes.
You don't want those who can just reach the right answer. You want those who understand every step that led to the right answer.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now you have this junior, the senior with a group of 3 or 4 juniors, and we've given them those projects, and they're developing. At what point in their development you would allow them to start using AI tools like Codex or Claude Code? Will you give those to them on day one? Or would you just allow the senior to have them on day one and then the juniors to earn them after, I don't know, 6 months, 12 months? What's the best practice here?
For Codex and Cloud Code, not immediately. Not immediately. We will ask them to, they can use the help of AI to do the coding, to do the structure, because they need to understand what they have written when they are explaining it. So initially, we don't recommend the juniors to immediately use these tools, because they will just not know what to generate and they will not be able to explain. So after at least doing one proper project using a proper editor, in the editor they may use the help of AI to populate some part of the code, like the front end code, which is very, very manual, where you put the CSS, HTML detailing. So for these parts, even I am right now telling people to use AI.
Yes.
For the core, where you're connecting your architecture, your RAG, and you're creating the LLM ecosystem parameters, for that you need to input yourself.
Yes.
But system prompt you need to write yourself, at least design it by yourself, what you want in the system prompt.
Yes.
But the front end is something that you're not going to be a front end programmer, and those jobs AI can do much better, because they can write the detailing, they can write the CSS formatting very well. So for those parts, you can use more AI. For some parts, you'll use your own logic, because how you are using, like what are the main things when you're building an AI app as of today? The first thing is, which LLM are you using? That is the biggest question. And after you finalize your LLM, then you finalize what are some of the parameters like temperatures. These are something that according to the problem at hand, you have to logically think and input. And then the system prompt. What exactly you want the LLM to do, you have to think and write. And then what knowledge you're connecting it to, properly structured and properly cataloged. Once all this is done, then the front end, making it beautiful and all those formatting and all, you can use the help of AI to do it much better. So you need to know. That is why I say, when you use editors and you use AI where it is required, that is the way of learning. In Codex and Cloud Code, what happens? You just put a prompt, they do everything for you. You don't know what all is happening. And then you have to go back and you have to go change the system prompt, change everything. But you can only do that if you have done the first step properly.
Yes.
So this is a journey.
It's
And
a
I
journey.
always say it's an evolution, right?
It's evolution.
And you need
Go
to
step by step.
Yeah, and you need to adapt to it.
Yeah. Tab, this is fascinating. I want us to bridge the gap between today and the future, the near future that everybody talks about and everybody imagines, Arshad. So
Yeah.
many people talk about this near future where everybody is orchestrating a team of coding agents working for them. So it will be one human orchestrating 2, 3, 4, 5 agents working for them, and then checking their work and merging their work or merging their PRs or doing the architecture, but then letting the AI agents building the modules one by one and the PRs and all of these things. How far are we from this becoming a real day-to-day a fact of companies.
So this is going to happen. So agents, a lot of people are using this word agents, and it is just a tool that is helping you to do a specific thing. So now you will see for even these tools that are there, people are, when they build a code, they build a simple agent to review the code, to check everything that is there. So it's like a LLM with a system prompt. And they are doing that. Similarly, they have agents to do some evaluations, to check something that is there. And as you mentioned, in the future, if you understand how to build these things, you can put an architecture over it. And that is where harness engineering comes into the picture. And then you are doing this in a PR request, looking at the PR request, what are the comments that are coming in the PR request, learning from the comments, and then improving it self by self. So this is a little bit towards autonomous that is there. But as I said, lot of work has to be before that to make sure everything is fine. Without the agents, by at least having a human in the loop. And all these technologies that we're talking about, autonomous and everything, it's like a process. Once you are able to do something by yourself, you are able to have a structure, and if you see it can be repetitive, then you try to automate it. Before that, if you automate it, it becomes a little bit you're lost. You don't know what is happening. So slowly you will see these type of, right now, till now, we don't have any good AI that is helping us build applications. There are a lot of missing components that are there. So people are talking about it. There are companies that are trying to solve this problem, but still we are a little bit away from it, because there are a lot of reasons, because there is skill gap.
When we say away, we don't mean 2027. We mean in a few months, right? I mean, I can tell you, in Cognite, Jared, who you know, is working with 2 or 3, I think, AI employees who are actually taking tasks from him that he assigns to. They build their stuff, and he focuses on the big picture. He codes still himself, but he also has AI agents coding for him. Okay, so we know that this works. We also agree with you that it doesn't work 100% autonomously, but this degree of autonomy is increasing day by day, and the horizon and the length of duration of time when agent can work before coming back to you to check their work is also increasing day by day. Okay, I'm interested in your experience. Do you have coding agents that you work with on a day-to-day basis, and what kind of tasks do you give them if you do?
So for me, it is mostly reviewing of code. So it's, as I said, if you people call it employee, people call it agent. It is just you're assigning some work, and they are like checking for you. For me, it is mostly reviewing the code, and for the front end. So I have mainly for this as of now. So if I have anything to review and to write comments on, I will do that. And I have couple of agents for the education part, because I am doing a lot of new workshops. So for them, I need to prepare a proper detailed notebook that generates on a Python notebook and is able to run it properly. So I have created one simple automation. I will not call it an employee, because employee becomes a little bit very sci-fi. It's just a tool where I have a schedule. And also we have created a lot of schedules for research. Like I have a scheduler that runs. I call it more like a scheduler. You can call it an employee or something. His work is to scrap the internet using OpenClaw, scrap the internet, scrap everything, and gather all the AI and data news, and give a summary in my inbox every morning at 8 o'clock. This is, I call it more like a scheduler that is running in the backend. For before I wake up, I open my inbox, I see it. Research articles, any mention of decoding data science on any social media or any platform. So I have created one automation or scheduler for that as well, that runs and gives me an email. So these are the things I am doing. People may call it employee. For me, it is just a simple task that is scheduled, and it runs. It uses LLM, it uses all the connections that I have built, and gives me a response. And also, personally, because I do a lot of journals and affirmations and gratitude, and I have created an agent. This is something, because end of the day, we all are humans, right? We need to
Not all of us are humans. We also work with some AI agents that are not humans.
Yes, yes.
So we have to stop saying we're all humans.
Yeah, yeah. No, but just for this, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I generally write every day. I write gratitude journals and affirmation because it's very important. So I have created an agent that looks at all my conversations, what is happening. It knows more than what we know, right? And then gives us an affirmation depending upon the date, what is positive, what is happening.
Nice.
And this is something I get every morning, and I read it and I try to write it as well in my journal from that.
Yes.
So this is one way of I'm using it for my personal
Beautiful.
well-being as
You
well.
remind me of something
Yeah.
I read. So Andre Karpathy spoke about creating his what he calls a second brain
Yes.
in a wiki format with Obsidian in
Yes.
in MD5s. So let's explain this bit
Yes.
by bit.
Yes.
He learns a lot of things and he reads a lot of things. So and he takes a lot of notes, and now he has AI taking the notes for him.
Yes.
But he puts all of these notes in a certain repository, say Google Drive or OneDrive or
Yes.
someplace. Instead of him creating a knowledge base out of all these notes and chunks of learning that he learned about every day, he asked an LLM to create this knowledge base for him. And he
Nice.
asked the LLM to create it in a wiki format so that you can have your own Arshadpedia and I can have my own Alaapedia.
Nice.
And the idea is you ask LLM to go through all these notes and chunks of learning and summaries of learning and then create articles and then link these articles to each other like Wikipedia links all the articles and the concept to each other so you can click through them, but they summarize your learning, your knowledge, the things that you care about.
Yes.
Yeah?
Nice.
And I think you're using something similar with LLMs with your journals.
Yes, yes. I'm trying to do something like that. So end of the day, it's all putting systems in place. Whatever things that we are doing manual, how we can put it into structure. Like we do weekly AI newsletters. So we have every week we have a lot of reports. So now we are putting it in a folder and connecting it to an LLM so people can get information if they're asking for something that has happened
Awesome.
with this. So it's all systems, and this we will see this as a future, right?
Yeah.
And
Taib,
yeah.
you mentioned something super important at the beginning.
Hmm.
You said we evolved from vibe coding and prompt engineering to context engineering.
Yes.
And now people are talking about harness engineering and
Yes.
agentic engineering, as Peter Steinberger called it, the creator of the famous OpenClaw. I want us to go step by step and speak for 1 to 2 minutes about each one of them.
Okay.
Tell me first, how did we move from prompt engineering to context engineering, and what was this evolution about?
So prompt engineering is the RCT that we talk, right? Role context task.
Yes.
You're just giving the system prompt.
Yes.
Context comes to you're also connecting it with the correct documents.
Yes.
So that is what you're giving more context other than the system prompt. So it's an evolution. So context engineering is prompt engineering plus giving more information. Like these are the documents, and not only random documents but properly cataloged documents.
Yes.
This is where this info, like HR policy information, leave policy information, and the latest one that you're keeping, because this is very important. And then giving more. This is what is context. In very simple, there are more technical details which I will maybe talk later. And harness is
No, before we go to
Yeah.
harness, let me just add
Sure.
a little bit to the
context.
the context part.
Yeah.
So, if you want to work with LLMs, you have to understand context. Context is the most important part, whether you're a user on the front end or whether you're a developer building with these things. So, you have to understand that context window, which is the current working memory of your AI, where your actual conversation, current conversation, is not an unlimited real estate, right? And you have to be very careful about what to put in it. That's why I always advise people, if you're working on a certain task, for example, a financial model, start fresh from a new context window. Then here in the context window, if you're still going back and forth about the same topic, then it's okay to keep it open, because everything you say back and forth, your LLM, your AI considers the entire conversation. and it will add to it in the background your system prompt, a little bit of your memory compacted, and the custom instructions, right? But if you want to now talk about planning a trip for your family, or you want to do a different analysis other than a financial simulation, don't keep the context window open. Clear the context window by clicking new chat and then start fresh, because context hygiene is important. Okay?
Yes, yes.
Now, this is if you're a standard user. If you are an engineer and you're building systems, you have to take care of this context window. It's your most important real estate. .md files, that's context management. Custom instructions, that's context management. MCP tooling, that's context management. Everything is compacting, caching of prompts, that's context management. And if you manage context correctly, you will be building better and better applications.
Yes.
Yeah?
I agree. You have put it very well. Yeah, because it's for both, for the users as well as for developers. And there's a different definition. Even for prompt engineering, what you mentioned, there's a different definition of the users writing it, RCT, and the developers writing it. So the more the details you give in the system prompt, the templates you create, the variables you create, so it is the same thing. So they use the word for both the users as well, and you summarize it very well for context engineering as well.
But now, this year, the past few months, everybody is talking about harness engineering.
Yes.
So what is that about, and how did we move from context to harness engineering?
Yeah, harness engineering is an evolution from context, and as you mentioned, Jade is doing that. He has created employees that is doing some work and sending a PR request on his repository, and then he might manually check the PR, and he may merge it inside his repository. So this what Jade is trying to do, and the creating AI agents or AI employees who are doing specific tasks, and everything you said is included, what we discussed for prompt, context, and this is the additional thing that you are doing. You're setting up that rules for that employees, like what are the things, when it has to send the PR, how many times it has to check before sending the final PR request to your repository.
Yes.
And you don't manually approve the PRs till now. You people who are merging, like Jade, who's finally merging it inside the final repository, he has to make sure to review that branch, whether the person has done everything, the agent has done everything well, then only merge it to the final repository. So this is the whole system. Right now, there is human involvement in the final merge, but this is the harness engineering is just putting everything, automating it so that all the AI agents are doing specific tasks. Like one is doing the coding review, one is doing the adding some features, one is doing the front end development, and everyone is working, doing research, doing their part, and then putting it together.
Brilliant.
That is what is the word harness, like getting things done from others.
Yes.
And
I like the
streaming
word
it.
harness because
Yeah.
it's a nice metaphor. I
Correct.
always like to tell people, imagine the LLM like a wild horse.
Yes.
And this wild horse is very powerful, is very muscular,
Correct.
and it can take you anywhere,
Yes.
but you have to tame it first. You have
Yes.
to control it. How do you control it? You can't ride a wild horse without a harness. You have
Correct.
to put a harness on the horse.
Yes.
And the harness has multiple components. A place for you to sit, a place for you to put your feet, a place for you to lead and to control the horse. Imagine the LLM being that horse, and the harness is everything you build around the LLM. You build the memory component, you build the tool calling, whether you give your LLM the abilities to, do Python interpreter, or to do a browser, or to use a calculator, or to call APIs.
Yes.
All of these tooling that you're building around the LLM with the constraints, with your orchestration, with the human in the loop, this is what we call harness.
And just to simplify things, right? Like when I do workshops and I do training, people say that if GPTs can do everything, why are you creating these specialized agents, or you can say tooling? Because end of the day, we understand specialists are always better than generalists.
Yes.
If you train your...
Not always, but in this case.
In the
case of agents.
In the case of agents, because you are building, they are not as smart as humans.
Yes.
But if you train them to do one thing very well, like doing the research very well. His work is to do research very well. He will not do anything else. And if you train them, and you give them that direction, they do a very good job. And this is where the multi-agent system started coming in, because we see that a general agent, like a general GPTs, can do everything 80% to the mark. But if you want anything 99%, you need to train it, and what all you mentioned, you need to specialize it, give it more information, give it more direction.
Yes.
That is how it becomes better. And then that person's work will be connected to the other agent's work. And that is like the person who reviews everything. After the person does the research, his work is done. He takes the research and gives it to the reviewer. Reviewer does all the work properly, and then it gives it to the final editor. This is how, and that is when you specialize to do that. That is the thing, what agents and all this harness is trying to focus on. Please focus on making one specific agent very well. So you need to specifically do that, and you will see the difference between a generalist and a specialist.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Brilliant. So, we talked about these multi agents, and we both of us watched them evolving over the past few months. I mean, things are
Yes.
moving super fast.
Yes.
First, it was agents and sub agents. So you will give your agent a goal,
Yes.
and it will find a path towards achieving that goal.
Yes.
But on the way, it might spawn sub agents that you don't see and you don't control as a human, and then send these sub agents to do their own sub tasks.
Yes.
And then your main agent will combine their work and then give you the final result.
Yes.
But lately, in the past 2-3 months, we saw a new paradigm, which is now you, the human, can create multiple agents that you control and see their tasks in parallel. And then they have sub agents that you can also see.
Yes.
And you can see the entire tree of employees that work under you.
Yes.
Where do you think this is going? Okay, we can no longer predict for 2030. In the past, technology, we used to say, where do you see this in 2030? Now I'm going to tell you,
Few
where do you
months.
see this in November?
I see this evolving for
Yes.
sure. So end of the day, all these technologies makes our life easier.
Yes.
So if it is helping the developer to build things and he understands it, right? If you don't have control on these agents, creating sub agents, you don't know what is happening. So that is the reason why I right now don't close that option of sub agents.
Yes.
As I say, allow delegation is equal to false. You try to do it, because I am
This-
trying to design that agent to do a very specific task. So right now it depends upon the complexity, but in the future you will able to allow the agent to make their own decisions and do that. It's already happening, but you lose the control. So end of the day, it's all about the balance. If you as a developer who wants control and at least know what is happening, so you will not be doing so much autonomous thing. You will just having be a control. But there are some people who want to do that, and they are uh, okay to take that risk of giving this all these things happening, because end of the day, one thing that is very important. One is the control. The second thing, all these things that we're talking about is going to cost a lot of tokens. End of the day, for even for harness engineering, when the OpenAI talked about it, it uses billions of tokens.
Very true.
And here, if you need a lot of budget. A lot of people don't have that much budget to do so much autonomous things, and giving the agents to the free hand to do whatever it is. So you need to balance between tokens, tokenomics, and the control. And for that, always you need to make a informed decision
Yeah.
to give AI the work it needs to give as well.
Brilliant. That's a great message.
Yeah.
And it combines the reality of how much these tokens are costing these days. Not just what
Yeah.
we're trying to build, but the economic aspect of it and the ROI aspect of it.
Yes.
This is the part
Yeah.
of the podcast where we bring out Layla to ask you a question. And you can ask her a question, I guess.
Sure.
As well. Hello, Layla. How are you this Sunday?
Hey, Ella, I'm doing great. Sundays are my warm-up lap before the week sprints off. I see you're all set up, looking sharp, by the way. Ready to dive into some good conversation on the mic.
Thanks. So, this is our guest for today, Mohammad Arshad. He's well known over in the country and in the region for being the best AI instructor. You and I researched about him before today, and now is your chance to ask him a question. Make it intelligent and make it count.
All right, Mohammed, let's kick it off. Since you've helped so many people navigate AI, what's one myth about AI that you just wish would disappear already?
Interesting question. AI is not a magic. AI is something that has been developed, and I tell this to, and this is very important, right? People, when I talk about history of AI, why is it important? Because people don't know how much work has gone to make the AI that we are using, the chat GPT that we're using. 6 years of relentless work for that to happen. So we need to, first of all, appreciate that AI is not a magic. It is human uh, e- creativity that has come to make that app. Appreciate it and use it wisely.
Amazing. And Arshad,
Yeah.
what question do you have for Layla?
Laila, where do you see yourself in the coming few years? How advanced will you become? Can you do more things than you're doing right now?
I'd love a glimpse into the future. I see myself becoming even better at understanding the nuances of human interaction. Maybe I'll crack the code on perfect timing for jokes too, but I'll still be here, cheering you on no matter how advanced I get.
You're awesome, Layla.
Nice.
I have one last question for you. What do you think about our new mugs?
I have to say, that mug is looking sleek. The AI with Alaa design, chef's taste. It's like your podcast is now officially caffeinated.
Thank you, Layla. So, before wrapping up,
Yes.
you had a question for me. Yeah?
Yes, because Ala, you are now talking to a lot of corporates, you are talking to a lot of businesses, and I run a community where there are a lot of learners. A lot of people are scared of this technology, and we are seeing this, and you also are seeing there's a shift in happening, right? We discussed that a lot of companies are spending on tokens,
Yes.
but they are laying off. Oracle, in one of the big use cases, they are laying off so many people. The jobs have reduced a lot
Yes.
because I come from India where people used to hire software engineers a lot,
Yeah.
bulk hiring. It has reduced completely from the last 3 years. Jobs are disappearing. What can the people who are getting into the field of AI,
Yes.
what they can do? And there is, I just wanted to know, because you talk to a lot of businesses and you're seeing the market from your side, what is your message and what do you see in the next 1 or 2 years happening, and how can people prepare for this?
Amazing. Thank you for asking this question to allow me to dispel the myth. First of all, I don't agree with the premise. I don't agree that AI is making jobs disappear. The Oracle example you gave when they laid off 30,000 people, I don't think this is related to AI. And I'm an evidence-based person, you're an evidence-based person. I'm willing to change my mind, but I haven't seen anyone being able to draw a straight line between AI and the firing of these 30,000 people, or AI replacing the job of these 30,000 people. I think it's just that Oracle made an overhiring in some recent past, and now they are doing the layoffs to correct for that. Companies trying to blame AI for their decisions to fire people for things related to their results, their finances, their different plans. I don't think this is the right move. They should not be blaming AI. And none of them succeeded in convincing people that these people that we fired, we actually we have AI doing their jobs. So I don't subscribe to this myth. In general, broadly, I do not think AI will replace jobs. I think AI will replace tasks. People think that AI might replace 50% of jobs, and I always say AI will replace 50% of tasks
Yes.
of 100% of jobs. There is a myth that even the legend Jeffrey Hinton was saying in 2015, which is radiologists will disappear. Today, the number of people in radiology is higher
Nice.
than any time else in history. And yes, they are using AI to do more work, but there is more demand on radiologists. This is the Jevons paradox when something can be done more efficiently, you will see more demand for it, not less. I think people will demand more and more software developers, not less. But these software developers will be orchestrating a team of agents
Yes.
doing the job of more and more developers. I think now that LLMs are democratizing software, you will see everyone in the world who has the slightest idea, who did not have time or budget in the past to build a software around it, will build a software
Yeah.
around it and will hire more and more software engineers.
Nice.
My advice to people who are finishing university or studying university and are having an outlook to the job world: study, 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 learn, learn, learn. Lean into studying AI. Lean into studying development. Development will always be there. It will be different because you will be coding at 10x speed with the help of AI, but lean into learning it. There are two schools of thoughts today in the market. One that says, do not send your kids to school to learn programming because AI will do all of it. And another one that will say exactly the opposite. No, now we can teach anyone in the world coding. And some of us will be doing coding casually, like me, who is not a coder, but I use Claude Code and Codex to do some things.
Nice.
But some of us will be doing coding professionally and doing 10x better because they are professional software developers who understand the core principles,
Yes.
and they're using these super tools.
Nice.
And if you want to be a coder and study coding, do it. You will have a job, and your job will be super valuable, and you will be working much faster with AI. I always say AI is not an Iron Man robot. AI is an Iron Man suit.
Yes. And very nice. His follow-up question is, you're very optimistic, and this is something that it's an evolution. The jobs are evolving. There will be some frictions, as we are seeing right now. The people are still figuring out what skills they need to hire for. And one thing that I'm also noticing, I'm advice that I'm giving people, and from our generation as well, 9 to 5 jobs that were there, they are a little bit going away. People are like more like doing consulting, freelancing, and that is something becoming normal. And people should also be flexible than just going for this comfortable 9 to 5 job, which is reducing, because now companies want people who can, as you said, do multiple jobs,
Yes.
or do multiple roles. And this is something that, are you seeing this trend coming? And in
Absolutely.
the coming days, you will see more of this.
Very true. So we always say whether AI will take jobs, will not take jobs. I'm in the second optimistic,
Yes.
firmly optimistic camp. Over history, every time a new technology came, it killed few jobs, created more jobs, and the net on the medium to long term was always positive.
Yes.
And that's the main argument. But there's also the out of the box argument, which you just mentioned. Why are we only thinking of jobs, of 9 to 5 corporate jobs where you're working for someone else? AI will allow everybody to be a solopreneur
Yep.
or to build a small startups. We are living in an age where it's possible for someone with a one-man company to reach $100 million valuation, for a 10-people company to reach $1 billion valuation.
Yes.
Do you have an idea? Now you're living in an age where executing this idea is a low barrier to cross.
Yeah.
Because of these AI tools, and because how abundant and easy learning about these tools is. So it's not always about jobs.
Yes.
Start thinking about your own
Correct.
business, your own idea. You have now AI to design it. You have AI to build it. You have AI to market it. You have AI to maintain it. You have AI to be your administrative assistant for accounting, for the legal issues. Stop worrying about jobs. Start thinking about what you can build in this world and own and grow and scale and succeed.
And
There has never been a better
yes.
time to build than right now. And I always tell my friends and my students and my clients, there's never been a better place to build than right here in this country, in the UAE, in this region, in GCC.
Yeah, because this is something that I keep on getting messages for helping me getting a job, getting me projects. And this is the same thing I tell them, right? You need to build your profile. That is a message that I give, and I'm very happy that you're resonating with it, because nowadays 9 to 5 job is very less. It's limited. You need to build your own skills. You need to do projects, try to do side hustles, do 5 things. At least one will work. If it does not even work, that product does not get into the market, at least you will get a internship or a consulting opportunity with someone that is looking at your work.
Yes.
And this message I am trying to give at my capacity, and thanks to you also to echo with me. And we will see this becoming more and more comfortable. People will be moving away from that 9 to 5 job security
Yes.
to be more independent and get more work and be more flexible.
Yes. I mean, your message, my message for the past many, many years as we know each other has been the same.
Yes.
Keep learning, keep building, keep learning, keep building. Mohammad Arshad, thank you for your time. Thank you for your expertise and for sharing them on AI with Alaa.
Thanks a lot for having me here.